Uh, so a few days ago, I was browsing the internet, and I was doing research on geometry and the beautiful geometry, sacred geometry. And as I was doing my research, I stumbled upon your blue double helix
Yeah.
work, and I was impressed. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. So I decided to look for the rest of your work, and I stumbled on your website, and I figured, okay, you never know, maybe it worked this time. So I just emailed you, just wanted to speak with you and ask you about your work, your motivation, and what inspires you to do this type of work.
You want me to tell you that?
Please, please.
Well, I really don't know why I began doing this, but I did it very young, and I don't know. From the beginning, I didn't know how to do things. I mean, uh, it is like if I were, well, I'm what you call in English a natural.
Okay.
I really knew how to do it when I was 19, 18, and I began doing this kind of drawings, and I have been always obsessed with the compulsion to perfection. And but other than that, I'm, well, what I'm trying to say when I when I do this, I'm trying to convey a message that perfection is attainable.
Ah, I see. I
Well,
see.
perhaps if you are a musician, you try to play as well as you can, trying to convey the best possible music, or something like that. I try in my way to convey that message, that perfection is attainable. Not only perfection is attainable, but that you can uh, build a beautiful construction with using the very concrete and very precise elements, and not because you are being so perfect you are not an artist. I mean, there is an art which can be perfect, but also you can do whatever you want. You can do um, how you say dribblings. You can do,
Scribbles.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, but my art is the art of the perfect drawings.
Yes, yes. So, amongst, since your work is trying to achieve perfection in drawings, what's the most, which one of your works do you believe has attained that is the closest to perfection?
No, no, no. I don't have anyone in particular. I think that's an attitude, and I'm always trying to reach that perfection. But well, sometimes I do it better than others. But usually, well, I must say that I do this for a living, so I must do this always well, because otherwise I will be dishonest with my clients.
Hmm.
Uh, but I think mm, well, I would like to think that I always do a good work.
Yes, yes. I mean,
Whatever I do, I mean.
yes. So when you work, for example, how, if you can please explain the process to me, is it do you kind of cancel all distractions, isolate yourself, and then work on every line in one go, or is it a more relaxed process where you do the work over a longer period of time?
Well, this is a very laborious, you can see that it is very laborious work, but I don't need, well, I need a quiet place where I can get concentrated on the obvious, I mean. But what really matters is to work continuously. Otherwise, you will never end your work. What I mean, I have a routine, and I try to do, say, 8 hours a day, and I really get very concentrate. And of course, to do this daily, you you better try to avoid consuming substance or that kind of things that will get you distracted
Yeah.
from the if you want to get really concentrate every day, you must live a very clean life.
Mm,
I mean,
yes.
if you drink today, you can work tomorrow. That's more or less what I want to say.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
not in a moralistic fashion, but in a practical way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand that because the older I'm getting, every time I was discussing this with a friend, every time you drink now, it takes you one day, 2 more days when you
Yeah,
cannot do anything.
yeah, and then that's a lost day.
Yes,
And
sir.
if you, well, that's my case. If you work for a living, you better work every day. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And uh, a lot of my friends are young artists, and I would like to know, how has the way you look at art changed between when you were age 19 and now?
I think I'm not the right person to be asked in that particular with that in that way, because you say that I am an artist, but I'm a draftsman, and I really don't care much about what other people do. And I really, my connection with what I do is more the natural world, and I don't care much what other people paint or do. I mean, if you want to say that I'm not an artist, I wouldn't care.
I see, I see, I see.
So sometimes I see things that older people do, and I say hat off. Wow, this guy is very good, or this lady. Or, but personally, I'm not very interested in graphic art. Or I know it's a little um, illogical what I'm telling you, but
Yeah.
my real artistic interest is more in music.
Mm,
I mean, I play an instrument, and what I really always I'm thinking about is about music. And but of course I'm a draftsman, but as I told you, I don't care if what I do is art or not.
well,
I just want to do it well.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let me just tell you from my perspective, you do it very, very, very well.
Thank you. But I'm not in a contest with other artists or anything. I'm in a contest with myself, and trying to fulfill my commissions.
Mm-hmm.
I really do this for a living, and sometimes I want to do things for me, and uh, well, sometimes I do them, but other times I don't do things for me because I mean it is a work. It's not for I'm
For
not
fun.
it's not for fun. But of course, I let myself have a free time. I of course draw for me sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And I had another question because I noticed in a lot of your work, there's the theme of the butterfly. And is there a reason why you chose the butterfly instead of like different natural, uh, I mean, a different theme?
Well, not particularly, not because it means I know butterflies. They have very symbolisms behind, but I personally don't know those symbolisms. I use butterflies because the geometry I like is very mm, I- cold. Well, not, I don't know if the word is cold. It's difficult to be seen, and I use the butterflies in order to make it visible for others.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, butterflies they have a great artistical potential because they have colors and designs, and uh, they are a very good subject to work with.
Yes, yes, yes. Because
When I began, I used to do the mere geometry of the helix, and they were beautiful, but they were so mathematical.
yes, yes.
When I began using butterflies, uh, people began to see what I was trying to tell them.
Oh, okay, okay.
It is a means to convey a message, if you want.
Yes, yes, I see it. So basically, I think I was using something familiar to explain something new.
Yes, exactly that.
Yes, yes. I really like the way you did that because that actually helps me to think about. Yes, that's very good. That's
and
very
and you have to agree with me that, well, you don't have, but you may agree with me that y- all people want to convey a message to the other people,
yes, sir.
but not all people knows how to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
um,
sir.
and you have to develop a language, um, a means to convey this message. Mine, in this case, is the geometry and what those things I draw. But I really want to convey my message. So I try to be very explicit and very concrete and very specific. And well, I try to do it. You tell me that I do
Oh,
it.
you do it very well, sir. You do it very well.
Uh, but basically, I mean, this is a human need to uh, get in touch, to to share what you think with other people,
Yes,
because
sir.
we are not alone in this world.
Yes,
We
sir.
are all a community, or however you want to call it. But well, that's basically the idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And is there anything that you've discovered about mathematics or the golden ratio as you've been working on this on these drafts all over your life?
Well, of course, being that my theme of my chosen team, I of course have discovered a few things, but they are not easy to be explained verbally.
Okay.
Um, that's why I draw them. But one thing I have discovered is that not necessarily to have to show a beautiful proportion, you not necessarily have to work with the golden ratio. There are lots of beautiful proportions in, in nature, and golden ratio is one of those proportions. And
Oh,
but you can do things with completely different proportions, not the golden ratio, but I mean, and also achieve a very good result. And what I really do is to try to find the better proportion possible in a certain situation. And the the golden ratio is very complicated to be explained in mathematical terms, but graphically, as I use it, uh, I have done a few drawings, well, a few, it's 100 or I don't know how many, with golden ratio, and it really gives you a very good result. But I myself wouldn't say that I'm an expert in golden ratio. I'm an expert in proportions. I
mm,
know how to work with golden ratio, and I think it's a very nice and very good proportions. But I have read some books about golden ratio, and they're very complicated. I mean, I don't understand what they are saying, and I know how to use it geometrically. But when you read these guys, they are mathematicians, or I evidently I'm not in the level of what they are trying to explain, and
yes.
well, I I accept my ignorance, and well, I do the best I can, as far as I can understand it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know you're gonna say, but you do it very well, etc.
I mean, because I'm truly impressed because there's that part where when someone has spent more time than other people working on something, only they can see the flaws.
Yes,
So I do understand your perspective. Yeah.
but the more you stay in one subject, the more you know you that you don't know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
I really have experienced that situation. So, well, I can't say that in a way I'm an expert. Well, of course, I'm an expert in perspective drawing and geometry, but I wouldn't say that I'm a, the genius of the Renaissance or something like that. I know my things, but I wouldn't dare to qualify myself as, Leonardo da Vinci or something like that. I'm very humble person in that way. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Has there been any of your work recently that has truly been challenging to finish?
Yes, they usually. Well, yes, the last one. I Everything was perfect geometrically, but when I was coloring, I never was able to achieve enough light. And light, light is the amount of white against black. And you know, you have to
Balance the light.
balance both. And I did all what I had to be done, and I was unable to achieve the amount of light that I was looking for, and it was very frustrating. And I won't tell that to my client because, well, at the end, the artwork was very good, but for myself, I wasn't able to achieve what I'm telling you, the light, the amount of light. And of course, if you can use some Photoshop, you can fix everything, but I can do that in my hand drawn
Yeah.
drawings.
Yeah, that's actually brings me to another question. Why did you choose? Because I do like the fact that you do your work by hand, but why did you choose to not adopt software?
Well, when software appeared in the world, I was already a good draftsman, and I began doing software and didn't like the outcome because it was too computer drawings, and opposed to the image that you achieve when you do this hand drawn with computer. um, Perhaps you can go further in your investigation due to the potential of the computers, but the outcome, the artistic graphic outcome is not as good, it's not as refined. Well, that's a personal view, my personal view, but I definitely like much more what I can do with my hands. And when I left all the traces I used to, when I drawing, when I'm doing a butterfly flying, I need a lot of lines to like scaffoldings to support the butterfly in the air.
Yeah,
In the air, supposedly it is a mental air,
yeah,
in 3D. And I left all the lines that I have been needing, and I think that the final result with all the lines and all the process is much more interesting that when you do this in a computer, that you know, you just press a button in the computer and it draws all. It
yeah,
doesn't need any scaffoldings, nothing, because she has an algorithm or something like that, I don't know. And well, I am my own algorithm and I do all by hand, and I really like the outcome of the hand drawn drawings.
yes. I mean, I do prefer. I do enjoy the fact that you kept it this way because uh, it seems like the work has more personality when it's done by hand, at least to
Uh,
me.
I, I will say that, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And I really do appreciate the work that you do. And if there's an advice that you would give to young men who are passionate, whether it's about draftsmanship or any kind of field, and want to dedicate the amount of time and work necessary to reach your level of mastery, for example, what advice would you give them?
Well, first, you must be very passionate. I mean, you. I don't need anyone behind me telling me you must do this or that. I want to do this or that. I myself. But what really is important is when you play an instrument or you are a draftsman or a painter, you need a lot of technique, lot of craftsmanship. Um, because if you don't have the means to convey your message will not reach the level enough to be understood. And the only way to, in case that you have a message first, but if you have a message to convey to others, you must manage the means to do it. And to do that, basically, people study in academies and universities, and afterward, you can be a genius, but you know how to use the pencil or the computer or the violin or whatever is your area. I mean, you have to study a lot,
Yes, yes.
and you have to tame your own. You know, people tend to be very rough, very, and you have to refine your roughness,
Hmm.
and that can only be done studying and practicing. If you are a musician, you have to make thousands of scales daily or that kind of things, and there is no other way.
There is no.
Human beings learn by repetition
Yes, sir.
and trial and error,
Yes, sir.
and you have to do it eh, uh, preferable every day, and you have to be very disciplined, and you need a working routine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know that sounds boring, but there is no other way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it's good to hear it from somebody who has done it.
Yes, because there is a prejudice that if you are an artist, you 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 are enlightened by inspiration, and what you do is a great work of art. But perhaps there are people like that, but we normal people need discipline and routine and daily work. And okay, the geniuses are other people, but we the people need discipline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I thank you. I thank you a lot for that. And just I know you have very little time today. So one more question. What would you say is the secret of a good life?
Well, uh, doing what you really want to do is one of the secrets.
Yes, sir.
But the problem behind this statement is that usually nobody knows what he wants to do.
Yes.
And that's a shame, because even life is long, it passed very fast.
Yeah. Okay.
So you better you better learn what you want to do as soon as possible,
Yes. Yes.
because it's long, but it passed very fast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that message. Thank you.
Well, I'm not too philosophical, but I really think what I'm telling you.
Yes, sir. And I hope the message will be helpful to everybody who will watch this episode. And thank you so much for taking your time today from your work to come and answer the few questions that I have. And I hope you have a great rest of your day in Madrid.
Well, for me, has been a pleasure, really.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, you
And
have a
perhaps we can talk another time.
yes,
Because
I hope we can definitely talk another time when you're not as busy so we can go into
yeah,
more
yeah.
detail.
In this moment, I really am busy, but perhaps in another time I can share you a few images while I'm talking, and so other people can see what we are talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. I will definitely send you some emails. We'll stay in contact.
Yeah, do that. We can repeat this experience again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Well,
much.
it has been a pleasure for me.
It has been my pleasure. You have a blessed day.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.